We arrive at 8 o'clock here, and we have been waiting, and the queue is moving very slowly. I went to approach the managers, ask, how long does it take for one person to be assisted? They said 30 minutes.
The security said, if we want to go, we can go. They don't care.
Since we 6, we are here. What are they doing inside there?
I don't know whether the staff, they're being short-staffed or they're just delaying for no reason. So
no one is coming to us. We are surprised even now the line is moving because of they see you.
we have to queue for almost 7 hours. Then we have to help ourselves. Where are we going to help ourselves?
I'm here to collect my ID. First of all, my number one frustration is that I never even got an SMS to say I must come and collect.
We're sick and tired about them, all of them.
So those were some of the frustrations that young people are experiencing on the ground when it comes to this issue around access to identity documents. But we want to say hello, Dumelang Sanbonani, South Africa. A very warm welcome to Expressions. This is definitely the place for you to air your views. I'm your host, Jacqueline Mapala.
Mina ngumxolisi wakwaMasango. Sinibingelele sinamukele ohlelweni namhlanje. So due to popular demand, because when you speak as a show we listen, we've had to revisit a topic that we've spoken about a few weeks ago, and that is the difficulty that ulusha face when it comes to obtaining izinto ezifana nama-identity documents kanye nama-birth certificates in some instances, which is why we are asking you the big question on the show namhlanje: are government departments failing the youth of South Africa when it comes to identity documents? What do you have to say about the conversations that we are having today on the show? So the first stop takes us to the East Rand, where we're touching base with Uri Joyce kanye noTomzodwa, who will be telling us of their story, some of them lamenting some of the sentiments that were heard in some of the voxies on the program. Let's take you there. It's quite a sad story. Namhlanje sise-Cloverdene, we informal settlements just on the outskirts of Ibinoni. Lapho sidibana khona noNtombizodwa, who's a 20-year-old who struggled at length ukuthi athole identity document. Ake siyozwa indaba yakhe. Ntomba, kusixoxele udaba lwakho mayelana ngokuzama ukuthola i-ID nokungayitholi. Kwenzakaleni?
Since from birth vele benganayo, so no mama ngaleso sikhathi leso benganayo i-ID. Umama i-ID wayithola 2015. Since from 2016 sizama ama social worker, police station, ngizama nokubuya nencwadi sesikoleni kodwa ya no luck.
Ibe nomthelelo njani empilweni yakho yonke leyo nto leyo nendlela mhlambe nasesikoleni nakwezinye izinto?
Nasesikoleni bazamile ukungibhalela amaletha ukuthi ngiyena home affairs. So mawufika khona bazokubuza ukuthi ana unawo wonke amaphepha, bachazela ukuthi hayi elesibhedlela liyashota. Kodwa lesikolo necard aseclinic nginalo, ne-affidavit from police station nginayo. Lelo phepha liyangihlupha ngoba esibhedlela uyaya uphethe lelo card laseclinic lokuthi nali ngizalelwe la. Uma bakucheck emafayilini awukho. Naba vele bangijikise bathi ayikho into abazoyenza ngoba angitholakali ku system yabo, angitholakali ndawo.
So esikoleni ngeke ka grade 1?
Ka grade 9.
So njoba kusosi swami kulesikhathi niphila kanjani la ekhaya?
Hey, ngona kunzima. Ngifuna ukutshela amanga. Siphila ngemali umntwana washayiswa imoto nomntwana we1 grant.
Bofisa ukuba yini empilweni kuba usiqedile isikole?
Bengifuna ukuba udoctor kodwa ngoba naku ngiyahluleka kuya phambili. Hleli phansi, maphupha mayashabalala ngabhekile. Noma umuntu alela akakhona ukulala ngoba naku uyacuya ukuthi sasa ngivuka ngidleni, sasa ngivuka ngibone ngenzeni.
Into bongafisa ukuyibona yenzeka or usiza ningafisa ukulithola ilephi?
Ukuthi sisizakale nje ngokuthola i-certificate nathi sifana nabanye abantwana sokhona ukwenza yonke into esifisayo empilweni, sichubeke nesikolo nje sikhona nokusiza umama
Empilweni yami yaba umthelo obuhlungu kakhulu kuba umntana wami abaqhuba kahle esikolweni ayenze imisebenzi yesikolo kahle mara ngenxa yokuthi akana certificate ugcina hlele phansi and manje imphatha kabuhlungu kuba bonke bayi3 abanazo certificate and bayaqhubeka esikolweni ukuthi kusasa nabo bayophelela nje endleleni ebele mina ngifisa ukuthi baphumelele mara impumelelo ayikho.
Ngabe iminyango kahulumeni iyayifeyila iyouth yethu na?
Isifeyilile nje siyouth, ayikho into esikhonayo, ama-home affairs asivalela iminyango. Ingakho nje abanye bakhethwe ukubhema abonyawupe, bakhipha istress, abanye bayathengisa, like ayikho vele impilo esingathi siyayiphila siyouth.
So we're crisscrossing the East Rand, straight from the other side of town to Palm Ridge, where we're touching base with Rejoice Sausa. She also has a story to share with us as expressions.
So inkinga yami ukuthi umama ongizalayo akana ID, ubaba une ID. So masiya eHome Affairs so lungisa lezo indaba bafuna umama. So indaba yami yafela ngalapho. Si 5 thina abantwana la ekhaya singanayo birth certificate. Sina only ama-card okuzalwa wasesibhedlela. Sifundele khona lana, then I did my matric 2020. So since vele ngihleli and angikhona ukuthola i-matric certificate yami because of i-ID number. Umama kuzange abe nazo, but ukhuliswa usisi wakhe. So by the time before umgogo eshona bebasendleleni vele bayomlungisela, then ugogo wathola i-car accident khona la eSprite. So yafela kanjalo indaba yakhe. Then umamkhulu akakhonanga naye ukumenzela as isister yakhe basebenzise ne death certificate because umamkhulu ushadile ushintshe isibongo.
Ngithanda ukuthi ngabona abantwana bami basezakele babe nama ID bakhona ukuqhubeka baye esikolweni bakhona ukufuna umsebenzi bakhona ukungisiza ngoba anginalo lunye usizo angisebenzi ubaba wabakasebenzi so bakhuluma kabuhlungu ukuthi asazi ukuthi sifundelani siphilelani kulomhlaba ngoba akukho la siyakhona siphumeleli impilo ibanzima noma sesino matric awusize ngalutho lo matric. So bengifisa ukuthi ngelinye ilanga ngibona abantwana basezakele noma mina ngingasasezakalanga mara abantwana bami basezakele bazongundla bazongisiza.
So isikolo thina sisiqedile vele sithu sinobhuti lo munye manje ukumatric njengoba ba register bamtshela ukuthi bazomxoxa esikolweni angeke azabhala umatric wakhe. So since ke sazama ukwenza i-affidavit ukuthi bakhona ukumbhalisa.
Awungitshele ngomthelela yonke lento le ebenawo empilweni yakho ngokuzama ukuqhubekela phambili njengomuntu omusha.
Lento leyo ingiyangilimaza kakhulu even today. Nginokuzibuza sometimes mangivuka ekseni ukuthi there's no point ukuthi ngivuke ngiyi-stradini akukho mnandi ukubona abantu bahamba baye ematekisini baye emsebenzini phinde babone futhi babuye emsebenzini while wena uzalelwa eSouth Africa unayo yonke into namakhadi but inkinga is-birth certificate. Iyangilimaza kakhulu lento kumanje nginomntwana naye akanayo and umntwana mala eSouth Africa ubaba bakhe nayo wala eSouth Africa so angikhona ukumenzela lutho. Bengifuna ukuthi ngiye esikoleni ngiqhubeke ngiye phambili ngiyenze IT but unfortunately because of certificate and ID angikhona ngiyaphambili ngempilo.
A big thank you to Rejoice as well as Ntombi Zodwa for sharing this story. I mean, as heartbreaking as it is, it's clearly showing that a lot needs to be done to ensure that young people on the ground have access to identity documents in South Africa. We continue this very important conversation after the break. You're watching Expressions.
First time ngithe mangifika boku-1 from that corner basibusele emuva. Second time ngifike 7:30 I was there erobotini yase in Bosman. Sathi masifika le robot basibusele emuva again.
Abatle batho botsa hore o etsagalang o etsagala bana re tloela ona re ntse re ntse mo line.
You want help from them.
A mere collection. You just go in and sign and collect your smart card. But it's a drag.
So imagine traveling every single day and I still don't get my ID. It's frustrating.
The system is taking quite long and I really wish there was a better way to do this.
clearly a lot of frustrated young people on the ground as we continue to have this conversation around a lack of access to identity documents. I had an opportunity to go to Soweto and Vlakfontein to speak to young people who continue to say that this is our challenge, this is our problem, and this is what went down. We are on a location in Vlakfontein. We're going to be speaking to Raranzo Khoza. Now, Raranzo is special because he actually wrote 2 expressions to say this is the challenge that he has identified from another young person and he wants to do something about it. Let's go and meet him.
This family actually has got a young person that I work with that has been struggling to find work because she does not have an ID. She's not available at the moment. She's gone to look for work without an ID. But the kids that are here are her siblings. They are very small, and what actually happened is that their father does not have a certificate. Their mother passed away some years ago. She also did not have an ID. And that's what led to all these kids not having IDs. And they've tried to sort of get certificates for these kids using their uncle's ID. But what they were told by the Home Affairs is that they would need to at least pay 3,500 rands for the DNA so that they can check if these kids are really related to their uncle. First person that will require the DNA is their father. Number 1, so he's got 5 kids, so it's 6 of them in total, including their father.
If no khona ho bua le Department of Home Affairs, Department of Social Development, no ka reng go bona.
Kahle sangidinga usizo, just ungasiza abantwana. Yabo kuphela. Ngajabula kakhulu banganceda bona kuphela. Amanye amalanga kunokuba nzima ukuthi sidle. Yabo. Even though baba makasahlali ngala endlini hlala ne-girlfriend yakhe inzima sure.
We've had so many social workers that have come here and have tried to assist, but it's really not brought the kind of results that we're looking for. I'm hoping that, South Africa will begin to realize that we need to start prioritizing our own people and make sure that we take care of our own people. When we are able to show love to one another, it will be easy for us to show love to our fellow Africans who are coming into this country for a better future. Charity begins at home, and if we cannot take care of our own, how are we able to take care of other people? It's very sad.
So Mubukedi, we've just come from Vlakfontein and right now we are on location in Soweto. We're going to be talking and following up on these very important stories around young people who don't have access to their IDs. Let's go inside and continue this conversation. Come with me. I-challenge lapakaya. What is it? What is the challenge with your daughter?
Since umntanam ndamzala ngo-1993 akana ID. So ndihambile ndaya Eastern Cape Home Affairs ndiyofuna uncedo azabancede ndeza khona apha eOrlando bafuna ukuthi ndenze ama-DNA test. So i-DNA test i-expensive. So ndababuza nakuba ndizoyithatha phi leyo mali leyo ngani uba unosipho umntanam but abanibhilive ukuthi umntanam. Okay, unosipho ndimthole ndimncane but there is no need ukuthi ndingathi manje ndiyofuna uncedo uthi hayi funeka senze i-DNA test as if like engathi ndiwutsotsi. Hayi nami mandihleli nje ndiyazibuza ukuthi yini ofanele uba ndiyenze because ndizalelwe la eSouth Africa but ndihambile yonke indawo ndicela uncedo andincedakali at all. And ingxaki ngokunosipho umntana wayeke nesikolo uyeke ku-grade 11 njema enganayo i-ID uzibona nje e-useless uzibona sometimes unokuthi wathi akayazi into ayiphilelayo just because of akanayo i-ID. Ayikho nje nami into endiyenjoyayo as umzali wakhe because ayikho into endimfake kuyo as umntanami noba kuthiwa utshonile kusho ukuthi ayikho into endizoyenza. So indifilisa inhliziyo ebuhlungu serious kakhulu futhi into endingayivuyela kakhulu xa ngabona umntanami ene-ID yazi yonke into yami ngayibona ukuthi okay I'm a South African but without that nami ndizibona nje ngathi ndiyi-foreigner what's a use ukuthi ndibihlale ndilapha eSouth Africa ngizalelwe apha and umntanami naye walapha kodwa akakwazi akakhona ukuthi abe ne-ID. Mandivota ndizothi ndivotela ntoni because mangaba ndithi ndifuna something yenzeke as ndiwalapha eSouth Africa ayikho into eyenzakalayo. ayikho nangoku bekukhawuntwa abantu mna baxela ndathi niyasikhawunta for ini because andiboni i-way forward ukuthi kubenefitha bona at the end thina sisale sisafara.
Yo, it's disheartening to really hear young people lament sentiments around their frustrations of obtaining IDs as well as birth certificates, which is exactly why we decided to go back to this topic, because as a young person and as a viewer of expression. So we had to really speak about it again. What do you have to say about the conversations we're having? Do take to our social media platforms, kind of Facebook, Twitter, as well as on Instagram. We're back after this. You're watching Expressions.
I'm coming here and I need an ID. I need to do things. And I use money to come here. And it's far. Where I live is far. Mamelodi is not here. It's not close.
It's a drag, and we spend money, lots of money coming here every day.
No one came to address us up until we came to complain that this is too much.
What are we doing here? Where are they? What are they doing?
They don't say anything. They don't communicate. They just come out, go inside, come out, go inside. They write a few numbers, come out, go inside. We don't know what's happening.
It's one thing to stand at work for 12 hours and then you find yourself standing here another 12 hours. Is too much.
Some of the frustrations, they're still on the ground because Expressions is everywhere where the voice of the youth is. The big question on the show, namhlanje siyabuza, are government departments failing the youth of the country when it comes to identity documents? So do let us know what you think about the conversations we are having on the show namhlanje. Siqhubekela phambili-ke, we went to Winterfeld as well as Olivenhout-Bosch, lapho uPamela as well as uBontle share their story with us as well. Do take a look at this. So conversations around identity documents and how young people struggle around ukuthola umazisi babo continue khona la Expressions. We're meeting up with Pamela, who is in Olivenhout-Bosch, who's also going to be telling us her story namhlanje. Njoba sibuza, the big question on the program namhlanje siyabuza ke, are government departments failing young people? Sibingela sikwamukele on the show. It's great to have you. Akusixoxele ngendaba yakho.
Ngikhulele emakhaya. So then ubaba wangithatha ngisesemncane wangiletha lana. Makafika lana wangenzela i-certificate. So then i-certificate leso ngathi wasenza angazi ukuthi wasenza kuphi. So then makasenza ifani zange ifani ngoba yithulelo lapha nababhala uTululo. So then iyo mengiyangayo into leni esikolweni. Imangithi nya eHome Affairs bangincede bathi ngilande i-death certificate kababami ngoba ngibiza ngefani yakhe. So then mangifuna i-death certificate ka tata into le utamkhulu yena wathi akanayo nomakhulu. So then uthi akanayo. Into yongabi nento le ne-ID iyahlupha just because ukuvuka kwamele like uvuka uyozama somewhere. Emsebenzini bafuna ama-ID. So then mina andinayo i-ID ngizovuka ndithi ndiyaphi. So uqashwa phi? Ngizoqashwa njengabantu like abangaphandle like uhola imali encane uhlala ngapha eSouth Africa kuyabona into ezinjalo.
Into ongathanda ukuyibona yenzeka manje yini?
Kanti into endingathanda ngoPamela ba afumane ID akhona usebenza njengabanye abantwana akhona uqhubekisa nesikolo. Imali endiholayo incane ba bona ama-beach job umuntu bayifuna ID ndiyayeka bana ID. So nabantwana abahola grant le nabo nje ndinabantwana bapha i-foster care umuntu bebapela naye kwatshona zicinyiwe abasahola indlala nabo nje.
Abantu abasebenza kwinto lena eHome Affairs bayasifela thina just because masiyasofuna into le bathi ish like basofuna uncedo kubo like abakhona ukusinceda yele ibe nabe ngabantu abamnyama. Bayasifila bona siyazi.
Into ongathanda ukuyibona yenzeka uqhubekela phambili njengamanje kulesimo sakho eyiphi sisona?
Ukuthi ngithole i-certificate ngizokhona ukwenza i-ID.
Unokulahla ithemba kwesinye isikhathi mawubheka isimo sakho?
Nohlala nje ndithi like I feel like I'm useless like yini into engizele emhlabeni like ngakhona ukuchithakala. yini ngizoyenza kodwa just because angikhona ukuncedakala even family ayikhona ukunginceda uyazwisisa.
Okay, so now we moved from Olivenhout-Bosch straight to the other side of Pretoria, where we're in Winterfell, just after Soshanguve, where we're touching base with another young person, Ubuntle, who's also got a story for us around the conversations that we're having. Namhlanje, it's great to have you on the show. Talk to us about your story.
I was raised by my father. I didn't know my mother. So since I stayed with my father since I was young, till my father passed away in 2018. So I was struggling with to get an ID and also certificate I don't have. Like I look at school, like next I can concentrate because I can stress or like an ID and then go to South Africa. So like a pilagar maybe I'm a foreigner.
So this school more grade man.
More grade 10.
So also honor to continue.
Like I kona marahona kanya gore hakifetso kra pass ke bole sekolo.
A go stele ngamatsapa o wankileng gore o leke go fumana an ID or a birth certificate.
Bona ke tsama di social worker ko black like me. So nona la uswa mona tsama case ya ka ba ke lile aus lilien. So I tried to zama happy this year ka once a match ka ya home affairs and then ka ngwadis till today kwana kra answer for interview. Botata a ke re banong a ke tsaiting ya mama hore mama ho tlile bang hore santra di best certificate. So ke saiting ya mama ru ira hetseng.
Mama yena okay.
Mama uteng 99 wetla.
Ngifuna ukwazi kuwena njengosisi wakhe ukuthi kuza kanjani mhlawumbe ukuthi wena ube nawo ama documents yena ngabe nawo isimo kwakwenze njani?
Uma before bakahlala nobaba so ubaba washona then khabo baba bathatha yonke into and umama wahlala ngana ID. Uhlala isikhathi eside so mina nganceda umuntu ulona umamncane wami uye wanginceda ngeID and then yena waza wathola iID emuva. So makaqeda ukuthola abanye abantwana laba so abantwana bakhe laba bathola ukuthi ama ID bona abanawo so umama umuntu uphuza utshwala so akanaso isikhathi ukuthi ancede abantwana.
Again to eutlisa botlhoko about situation yawo.
Akebereke and then kana langwana like there's no money ke kayang like ake kere 350 ake dikre ke pala lo ka sekolo ngwa ke khone kore life ya ke stakile like akhona ira sele.
Has government ya rona failed batho abansha ba go South Africa nana?
Like na no ba re faile cause like ho boima la khona like o sna pasa cause anytime le he modima ka hopola mo like ho ba mathata mo family o sna certificate or ID. Yeah.
So we've come to the end of today's show, and as much as it was important for us as Expressions to make sure that we put a spotlight on this issue, it was also quite heartbreaking to see just some of the frustration and challenges that are on the ground that young people are experiencing. Because to have an ID is not just a smolanyana thing, it's about being able to have a sense of belonging in this country. And it's just really heartbreaking to see that South Africans, young people, are struggling to even access basic services and go. So as Expressions, we hope we did justice to this issue. We're hoping we'll do a part 3 because I don't think we could have spoken or at least addressed all the issues that are there on the ground. But you as a young person, don't give up, hey? Don't give up. There's hope and there's light at the end of this tunnel, right, Mko?
And we hope we really did shine a spotlight on it. Because we did try to invite the Department of Home Affairs to come and answer to some of the case studies as well as the stories that we've seen. But of course, Bas Blue Tick are on the
they
show.
Ignored us.
But of course, the platform is always open for them to come through onto the program at a later stage, because I'm sure this is not the last time we're hearing of this. Thank you so much for your participation in Kundyan Zetu Zokumana. Get to Sonke Expressions till next time and Salega.
Adios, muchachos. Thanks for watching. Bye.